Well, we want to stay with this story and take a closer look at Oakland, California. Just yesterday, 25 people arrested there and several clashes between police and protesters. In many ways, Oakland has become, one of the centers of this movement, especially when we talk about harsh measures taken by police. You may remember U.S. Marine veteran Scott Olson. He was seen here critically injured, hospitalized for days after being hit by a tear gas canister shot out by police. Now, I want to talk about the Occupy movement since then and bring in Jessica Hollie, an Occupy Oakland blogger. Hey there, Jessica. To start off, just give us a look. Describe the scene for us in Oakland during yesterday's May Day events.
Well, yesterday, everything started out pretty celebratory, I'd say. Everybody was in very high spirits. There was music, and there was a lot of gatherings and speeches, rallies, and so forth and so on. But as the day progressed and people started marching, you could see the increase of police presence, and it almost seemed as if the police were like being patient with the march, but then when they decided that they wanted the march to be over, that they wanted to use violent force in an attempt to control people who were occupying and refusing to be intimidated.
We just got some video that we're showing now, this video from Oakland yesterday, showing masses of police really out there. And I also want to put up a photo that was taken yesterday. We have a photo of a sheriff's vehicle. It looks to me more like a tank. I don't know if you saw this, Jessica, but I'm wondering, I mean, what were these armored vehicles? I think they're called Blackwater Grizzlies. What were they used for? What were they all about?
Okay, well, I saw one on January 28th as well. And I drove past the one that you're speaking of, and it seems that like they usually come from somewhere else and not Oakland, but they usually just come out and force like a show of bravado almost. It's not like they even use them. Typically, it's the officers physically in cruisers and vans following around protesters, and then they climb out of the vans and line up in riot gear and then advance on the crowd in various ways.
I think one of the things that was unintended in the Occupy Wall Street movement, but really happened in a major way, was a showcasing, an illustration of the treatment by police of people in this country. A lot of people that I have spoken to, people that live in the inner cities, say, this is nothing new for us. But when it happened at Occupy Wall Street to a bunch of, frankly, white college graduates, and people were getting arrested, pepper sprayed in the face on the campus of Berkeley, a lot of people started to stand up and take notice and say, oh my gosh, this is a little crazy.
Right, and this is actually a very popular topic right now. Some people have been talking about the fact that a lot of the issues that they've been struggling with have been issues that have been problems way before Occupy was birthed as a movement from Wall Street, as you're just saying. However, the highlight is making it to where everybody is getting upset, but this is a good thing because it's showing how the bottom of middle class has really been taken out, and their arguments about the class war are coming to fruition there within that statement. When you see people who have been disenfranchised for a long time legitimizing what's happening with, with the statements of occupiers, excuse me, legitimizing the statements of occupiers, but maybe not even necessarily being occupiers, just understanding where they're coming from because it's something that they've already lived for so long. Well, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
The effect of gas from yesterday.
Oh, you were probably yelling a lot. I do want to point out something that happened in your city, and that is that a federal judge yesterday ordered the city of Oakland and its police force to submit a plan on how they might change some of those harsh tactics that we saw. They say if they don't submit a plan, they could face sanctions. I think a lot of people view this, a lot of people in the Occupy movement view this as a first step. But do you think this will, in fact, bring about change?
I do not think this would bring about change for this simple fact. It's already in the crowd control policy for the Oakland Police Department that they will not use chemical agents. However, they've continued to do so repeatedly, and that's just one of the very violent ways that they advance on the crowd.
So you think that this is just sort of the courts? You think this is just sort of the courts trying to appease the masses and those who are kind of angry about what they saw with the Oakland police?
I think that it's trying to appease